Hi, I'm taking Paul McWhorter's AI for Everyone lessons. We're on number 20, and we're learning about left and right hands in media pipe. Uh, our homework was to make a two-player game out of our one-player Pong game, and so it seems so straightforward. So I can show you what I've done. Again, I'm working with my little mini PC remote accessing into it. So we'll go full screen on that. So I had the MP helpers module that I created a week or two ago, and uh, have it as a separate file for calculating our landmark and getting our MP array um, out of our landmarks. So today we had to add our multi-handedness so we could show which hand goes with which landmarks. So we had to add a little bit of code, added another list array of hand types and a couple lines of code, and then just had to export the when you return the hand types as well as the landmark my hands. That part was fairly straightforward. Had to add to this to get to our two players, so we got lots of variables going on. I decided to call it left player and right player, so anything that was separated, we had to do those on that. Got that done. I made a new function for new ball every time we put a new ball in play. I wanted to give it some randomness, so had to do that for each time. So I figured I'd separate it out into its own function. Worked out fairly well. I'll show you where we call it down lower. This is all almost the same as we were doing. We're just setting up our camera, and well, we're making an instance of our MP array, our module dot array or module dot class to get that. We're calling it LM, that we can call it down lower. So one thing I decided to do, since I had learned a little bit about game coding a while back, not a whole lot, just the basics of it. And most game coders use what they call a state machine code, where you have a state, you either like start, play, and end, and you run different code depending on which where you're at in the game. And so I figured I'll set that up. You just do it with the ifs and the elifs, and stay in one section. It doesn't change until a condition is met, like if somebody hits the start button, or somebody wins or loses on the play, or on the end. Once you finish your end screen, whatever you're doing for that, then it would go back again to the start. So just a way of separating your code out so that you can have that. All the codes here, I just condensed it a little bit for showing. So I'll leave the start for a little later, but this is the code we've been working on with Paul, and just getting our hands. We learned, Paul showed us how to get our hands as landmarks, as well as which hand they were with, bringing them in, and basically doing the same thing. I did change from the index finger to the thumb. I thought it was a little easier to use it. So using the thumb as in tip of the thumb to control the paddle. And now we have to do two paddles on the side, so that sets those up. And ball movement is almost the same. We're bouncing off the top and the bottom here. So we're bouncing off the sides with the one player game. And then for each player, we have to set up this to see if we are in the paddle area, and if we hit the paddle or miss the paddle. If we hit it, we just bounce, and if we miss it, then we subtract one from the lives and then go and do that start the new ball function. That gets us a new ball. So all that's up in that one little function. And do the same thing when the ball is on the right hand side of the screen, check for the right person. And then update the ball and put our text for the scoring up there. It's not lives left and not really scoring anything. That's all we're doing. Then at the end down here, the last thing we do before we leave that section of code is check and see if our lives if either one of the lives has got down to 0. If it has, then we actually change the state to encode. And I want to play a video at the end, so I want to start that video each time when we're ready to go into the end. So this way it only runs when I need it to. It's not in the loop end of it. It's only happens when you're changing to the end. Basically that's all we were doing there. For our start, I'll close this back up for the close that one up and open this one up. So for our start, I decided just to have a black frame. So importing a black frame using MP0s, putting some text on it, just 2-player Pong, and some instructions. Press S to start, Q to quit. And then it just kind of does that wait thing where it's waiting for you to hit the S key. It waits at 1 millisecond, and if you do hit it, if you get the play key, then it's gonna, or hit the S key, then it's gonna change the state over to play. So then the next time through the loop, it's gonna not do this code, it'll do the play code. Of course, when you play, you want to, if you do it over and over again, you want to start over with your 3 lives. So each time when we go from start to play, I just reset the lives basically on that. And then it would change and go to that one. And then the end state, like I said, I'm playing a video. So just put the code in here to play a video from start to finish. And also putting the final score on there in red so that you can see it. Doing fireworks and got a lot of black in the background, so black printing wasn't showing up, so I changed it to red. So it goes through the video, and when the video ends, this return on here is a true or false. So when the video ends, this goes to false, so then it falls through here to, and we're going to change the state back to the start screen. We're going to release our capture our file, release the file, and this sets up one black frame so that our IM show doesn't get an error. And basically, that's what we're doing there. So everything worked out really well. Show you how we play. Kind of retro type graphics on here. So go ahead and hit the S key to start it. And got my thumbs in here to get it. just show that it works, but then I'm gonna let it show each side is actually working. Nope, I actually missed that time. Now each side is working. The ball gets a little bit faster each time. Oop. Each time it hits a paddle, it gets faster. I made the ball speed a random number to start. So sometimes it starts at a different speed and a different angle. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it loose now so that we can get it. So just like I said, we go into this video and just because we can, plays out the video and then goes back and starts over. So it's waiting for you either to hit the start key or the quit key again. So our program's still running, so it keeps running. So hit the start key and we start over. We'll do one hit here and then call it quits. One hit on that side, one hit on this side, and then we'll call it quits. And we know we can always queue out of it. So it turned out pretty well. It wasn't too much to do, and added a little frills to it with the start screen in the end video. So that worked out well. Anyhow, always thank Paul for what he does. It's amazing that he provides all this for us for free. So thanks again, Paul. Talk to you later.